I wanna be your sledgehammer. Why don't you call my name?
Is that off of Peter Gabriel 1, 2, or 3?
So it's called.
Okay.
It's also.
Okay, so that's the 4th one.
Yeah.
No, that's the 5th one, right?
It's like the 6th one, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
It was they got the inspiration, I think, from this.
Off the Peter Gabriel song?
No, he got his inspiration from this movie.
From this movie?
Yeah.
I'll believe that.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's your favorite final girl, Emily, and your favorite final boy, Nick, coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me With a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and share the best and worst slasher movies. Shred the best and worst slasher movies, not share them. This week we'll be bludgeoning an already bludgeoned Sledgehammer from 1983. As always, Emily's got a VHS copy, and she's going to read the back of that box.
Yes, first of all, I will say this is not the first shot on video movie, because Boarding House was. However, it was the first shot on video movie for the home video market. So, yeah. No one has dared enter this house for nearly 10 years since a young couple from the valley were brutally murdered by a madman with a sledgehammer. No one until now. They would not be alone. There was something evil in this house. The kind of thing no one believes in yet everyone fears. Something that moves only through the still of the darkest night, creeps within the shadows of a man's deepest fears, and strikes without warning. Something which does not want them in this house, yet cannot allow them to leave. The night will be shrouded in their fear, stained with their blood. The nightmare has begun. God help them! 1983, your thoughts?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
I think that Fazoli's is the worst fast food restaurant there is, and I think they need to be stopped. Have you ever eaten there? It's fucking terrible.
I like Fazoli's, but
oh my god!
What do you think about Sledgehammer?
Oh yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I like all these horror movies that you guys so lovingly refer to as shitio.
Shot on shitio, yeah.
Shot on shitio that have the pretty much the budget of a pretty run of the mill porno. Mm-hmm. I like it a lot.
I also liked
as opposed to what was the other one? Dream Maniac.
That is also
is that shot on shitio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like this one much more.
Yeah, this is just a movie that consists of scenes and a lot of slow motion and a lot of house.
There's an exterior shot and there's an interior shot. And that's
a lot of
about
interior shots. It's basically like a Zillow ad. But the slow-mo and all of that pads the movie.
I've replied to some, or I've applied to some Zillow ads and gotten pretty much the run-through of this kind of apartment before.
Yeah, I know.
Which it's set in a house.
Just a lot of empty rooms that they show a lot. So it starts out, the font of the movie is even ridiculous.
The intro is awesome.
Oh, well, yeah, with the sledgehammer, but I'm talking about the credits.
Yeah.
The font for that. It's very like MS-DOS or something. But it shows a farmhouse for about 30 seconds. This won't be the last time. This will not be, you will see this house from the outside many times to pad the movie. Because the movie's, I think an hour and 27 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
They had to pad a lot of this movie with shit.
Cue slow motion.
Oh, and a lot of slow motion, yeah. There's this mom that puts her child in this like ranky ass closet so she can go be with her lover. But I was like, why the fuck do you bring him anyway?
That's just good old fashioned American child raising.
I just was like,
child rearing.
Later we'll find out he wanted to stay with his dad, so why didn't she just leave him with him while she was going to meet her lover?
Because his dad's a liar.
Anyway, she puts the boy in the closet. Then there's a slow-mo effect, and then it just shows the door of the closet that he's in for at least 30 seconds.
That just shows you he's being a good boy and not moving.
Yeah. And the mom starts to fuck her lover, and she talks about how much she hates her child.
Nothing gets me more in the mood that whenever I'm with a lady and she starts talking about how much she hates her children.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we get to basically what is happening is they're having an affair, and both of them are married.
Well, doesn't she go downtown, or not downtown? She goes downstairs, and the guy's like already in a bathroom, and she's like, he won't be bothering us anymore.
Yeah,
and the guy's like, all right.
Yeah, and they both talk about how they are married, but they've met here, and they want to run away together.
It looks pretty sleazy, especially on this video
it's
recording.
very porn looking.
Yeah.
So she does.
Then it just turns into
she
porn,
does
right?
go downtown.
Oh,
she does go downtown
yeah.
because while she's blowing him, he gets a sledgehammer to the back of his head. The lover does.
Yeah.
And then the mom pleads to whoever the killer is, but she's sledgehammered about 5 times. It sounds like, but it's off screen. You don't see it, but you can hear it. And so
Is this where we first start seeing some of the things that this movie has, where it looks like the cover of Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All?
Yes.
It's just blood splattering on the wall in a shadow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So then it's 10 years later, and it's the countryside. A van's pulling. It drives for a full fucking minute.
Yeah.
Just driving along. Okay. And this group of friends, they've finally gotten wherever they're getting to party. Well, it ends up it's this house because it shows the house again, stock footage of the same fucking house.
Well, hell of an Airbnb, guys.
Yeah. And then it takes them for fucking ever to get their stuff out of the van. And then this old man that's driving the van leaves with it. I didn't understand that. I was like, why?
Oh, that's how bands used to tour in the day. They just call up Rusty. That's how Black Flag started doing it.
Well, okay, so we meet our first 2 characters, Joni and Chuck. And they are dating, but they're arguing. We don't really know why. However, Chuck does this really cute thing that's so adorable that, I would hope that my boyfriend would do this all the time. He just takes his beer and he'll tap it on the top of her head.
Yeah.
Loved that.
Well, he believes that the perfect woman is a deaf, dumb, blind mute with a flat head, so you can sit your beer on it.
Yeah. Then it cuts to one of their other friends. I think his name's John, but we find out later. And he's just walking around forever, checking out this barn. Not the house, but this barn next door.
What do you call this contraption?
Or like a garage or something. And it's literally, he's rummaging around through junk, and there's like a mattress on the floor. It's just stupid. There's no purpose for this scene except for
a lot of purpose
pad.
for a lot of things in this movie. I think they're just trying to fill a lot of time.
And after that, it's slow motion of Joni and Chuck walking around, where he puts the beer can on her head for the second time, and then it's this like Heartland
hey, it worked
music.
the first time.
Yeah, but there's this like Heartland series music playing.
How did you guys meet? Well, he put a beer on my head. And...
It was so funny.
Aw, isn't that cute? And he wanted a sandwich, and I said, "What kind?" And he said,
So while they're all getting drunk inside the house, Chuck is arguing still with Joni because he doesn't know if he wants to marry Joni. But I mean, really, who cares? Because the next scene,
your head kind of tilts a little bit, and it kind of fucks my beer up.
Yeah, and in the next scene, though, he's just sitting outside strumming his guitar for a long time.
Well, I mean, he got a little chop.
I guess
It's not the worst.
Then we see a person POV to nothing. Nothing. And which makes no sense because the killer's in the house the whole time. So whatever. Then we cut to dinner where it doesn't really show anyone eating dinner except for I think his name's John, and they
John
are cheering him on to eat a whole sandwich in one bite.
Oh yeah, okay, so that's not John. Who is the regular stature John Oates ripoff?
Jimmy. Yeah. So they're like, yeah, go, like chug, but except for it's like put a whole sandwich in your mouth.
That's the best special effect of the whole movie.
And then Chuck,
or the practical effect.
Chuck pours mustard on Joni's head for no fucking reason.
She likes stuff on her head, guys.
And then
come on, get in on it.
John spits up his food on, I think, Joni too. And then they have a food fight, and no one ate except for John.
Also, I like that this food fight is just like right in the middle of the living room where everybody's just like having drinks. It's like, you guys know you're gonna have to clean this up within a matter of hours.
Yeah, which they get the guys to, but which is weird. So it cuts to the girls going upstairs being like, "Oh my god, they have food all over them. They're disgusting," and they're just like, "Guess that's what makes them fun about the guys." And I was like, I beg to differ, ma'am.
Yeah, those guys suck. They keep trying to set stuff on our heads. I guess that's what makes them fun.
And one of them's complaining. The girl that's with Carol, I think, that's with Jimmy, she's complaining how like he won't fuck her. And then,
well, that's about to change.
Yeah, but Mary, John's girlfriend, is like talking about how John does worse and has sex all the time, but he wears a mask somewhere, but not on his face.
You never done that?
She never explains it.
He wears this little mask over his dick.
He just goes, he's got a mask, but not for his face.
He says it's because he loves me.
Well, just like the beer can.
That's because he loves her.
And then it cuts to Chuck talking about how he got a throbber on the highway. Is that a hard-on?
I guess we know where he set his beer on the way up.
Yeah, I felt like at this point, the director... the director is the main character, Chuck's brother in real life. And
that sucks for the director.
I think he was just saying, "Hey guys, just do whatever and I'm going to film it."
He was just bitching at Chuck and being like, "Dude, just say the lines." He's like, "Nah, dude, I'm going to talk about this throbber."
Yeah. But
like,
then they just
just say the lines.
They have a conversation that you can't really hear because I feel like it was just like, just talk and whatever, and I will just film it. And
it's better if we don't hear you.
Yeah. It cuts the hallway and a girl is showering and we see the boom mic twice in that shot.
In the shadows. Oh, wait, no, it comes into the actual frame. Doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's just the shadow.
I'm pretty sure at one point it comes into the frame a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. I know it comes in and then it comes in more, but it's just the...
That's some high-octane shit. That's some top-shelf directing.
And so she opens the shower. There's a fake hanging.
Wait,
someone's like fake has fake hung themselves.
Okay, so this is precursoring to something later.
Yeah, and then we get to Jimmy, and his girl having issues again because he's like not really.
Listen, babe, I know I'm not as short as John Oates, but I'm twice the man he really is.
He does look like the poor man's John Oates.
It looks like if John Oates like grew up into a real man. Instead of staying in Never Neverland.
Okay, so then they're partying.
In Daryl Hall's Never Neverland.
Yeah. Well, Daryl Hall kind of is the Chuck, I guess.
He's a Peter Pan in my heart.
So they're partying and they're listening to this 45 and Chuck is like, "No, we're going to do something else." So he literally fucking just scratches the shit out of that record to stop it. I was like, what did you do?
Being a collector myself, I'd be very pissed.
Yeah. And he's like, "We're going to have some fun." And so this is like an orgy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Let's go."
Those are always fun.
Yeah, an orgy. Because that's the normal thing that people, when they're partying, they're
let's girl swap.
Obviously, we're going to have a key party.
I'm the only single guy here, so let's shave some of these women.
I don't think anyone's... Oh, Joey is.
I think Joey's the one who said orgy.
Yeah. And then Chuck is like, "No, a seance." And someone...
even sexier.
Someone goes, "Oh, that sounds neat."
Yep.
And it does a slide transition into the next scene, like where it just pans over. Mm-hmm. So Chuck is telling the story about the mom bringing the son... The story from the beginning, and it flashbacks to scenes from the beginning. So clearly they were just needing a bad time there.
So this mom, you see, she was a real loose lady. You see, she had a kid. You see.
Yeah.
What is this a seance, Chuck?
It's a totally unnecessary flashback from the beginning. It's a recycled, full slow-mo scene of a closet locking door. You see the door for way too long again. And he's like, they were gonna run away together. And then it cuts the beginning of the movie again, and then Chuck's telling the story over this fucking garbage. That these hikers found the bodies a few days later, but the bones were pounded over and over, and they never found the boy.
Yeah, because that's what hikers do. They go up to these like actual fucking like places that look like places of residence and just knock.
Yeah.
And why would anybody be hiking down the fucking road?
I don't know where we are.
Hitchhiking and hiking are two different things.
Yeah. But he says that they never found the boy, but they presumed the boy had gotten out and run into the woods and probably died. So he's presumed dead.
That's what I would do.
Well, yeah, I mean, if he could ever get out of that closet.
If I got out of the closet and I'll never get out of the closet. But if I got out and I ran out of the house, I'd look at the road, I'd look at the woods and be like, well, there's only one option.
Yeah. And I also, at the same time, I was like, he needs someone on the set needed to go up to him and blot him because he was just oily as shit.
Glistening.
But he says the killer was never caught, and a lot of people thought it was the husband, but he was alibied or something. But the killer could come back. Cut to a shot of the door again, that closet door. Okay.
No, that's where the shit's going down.
I mean, I've seen that closet door.
Have you been in there?
Well, I don't know. No, not yet.
Oh.
But tonight they're gonna find out the killer's identity.
If you can get in if you can get into the closet, let me know how to get out.
I will. And he says, I command you to rise. And then it's just, okay, this is where it's just shots of empty areas of the house.
That's whenever the throbber comes back.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, already risen.
So it shows shots of just empty rooms in the house. And a door unlocks. Is it the closet? I don't know. But Joey is in another room. He's the one that doesn't have a girlfriend. And he's actually making sounds come up so it'll scare the group. Chuck and Joey had planned this prank. They were, bring back the dead, but
nothing gets the girls in the mood like this. Come on, Joey, help us out.
Yeah. So back to the fake seance. Apparently the killer is going to reveal himself to John, the sandwich guy. Yeah. And the recording says, "We want to drink your blood." And then it cuts back to Joey, and he has a knife to the neck.
The girls go, "You want to drink our blood? It's full of the clap. It's full of gonorrhea.
My throat's full of gonorrhea. Want to taste?" But they don't know that this is happening, but Joey is murdered.
I've got syphilis of the neck.
Yeah. And then we see him dragged away, and then it shows the house outside again.
Well, they got to milk this shot.
The time has not changed either because it's not dark.
It's still middle of the day.
Yeah.
It's always day.
They're drinking again. John admits he was scared, and someone calls him ass breath, which, was pretty funny. And there's footsteps in a sledgehammer scene. But cut to charades. They're playing charades.
Like, anybody ever really did this. This is the kind of shit that you would do at, family get-togethers that nobody wanted to do, but you just did it to say, hey, look, we're a family. This is what we do. Look, but this is somebody take a picture so we can act like we like each other.
This is 2 movies we've seen where at a party, they're playing charades, like adults.
Nah, it's bullshit.
Carol...
If I was at that fucking party, I would quickly leave and go to a liquor store. Yeah. I don't even drink liquor, but I would.
How would how'd you get there? They took that van, so...
Oh, dude, I'd suck my way to that liquor store. I don't give a fuck. Get me out of charades.
And then Carol is wanting John Oates, Jimmy, to go upstairs with her.
John Oates, Jimmy.
Yeah. And then John says something about or Mary says something about they haven't had sex in 2 years, but just, 20 minutes ago she was talking about how you wanted to fuck all the time, so, with a mask on his dick or whatever. So I don't... Plot hole.
Oh, she's so crazy.
She's crazy. She doesn't even know what's happening. Chuck finally goes to find Joey, and he finds the tape player, or the plug to the tape player, and blood in slow motion. So this scene, which should take 15 seconds, takes 30 seconds.
I feel like it gives it more gravity.
Well, I don't know if that's... I think that's what they said they were going for, but...
Orson Welles would be proud.
Oh, yeah.
Because Orson Welles is so famous for his scenes of slow motion.
Well, I mean, okay, well, yeah.
He's not.
So Jimmy and Carol...
He's more famous for his drinking.
Yeah, I know. So it cuts to Jimmy and Carol, and they're talking about the last couple of days. They're talking about they've been here for the last couple of days. No, they haven't.
No, nothing's happened.
They just got there. They just got there. So, okay. And
this is what we call character development.
But Carol's like, what's wrong? Like, why don't you, want to fuck me or whatever? And then she's like, are you a virgin? And he's like, he doesn't say yes, but he is. So she doesn't care. So they're gonna fuck, and it cuts to the hallway, slow mo, really long time. Joni walks in to where Chuck is, finding that blood, and she's scared because of he's like, I think it's Joey's, but Joni thinks it's a joke. And then Chuck screams. He's like, Joey's...
after that seance gag, I mean, everything's off. Anything's on the table, man. Who cares?
And Joey's like, Chuck says, Joey's hurt, but let's not tell anyone. I'm serious. What the fuck? Like, yeah, let's not tell anybody about it.
It's cool. A good friend.
Great. Like, okay.
Hey, Joey's dying in the corner. Shit, don't tell anybody. It'd be funny.
So Jimmy and Carol are having sex. This is like full on nude. Jeez. I mean, it is like, it looks like he's
some tits
could be penetrating her. I don't know.
It looks like a porno.
Slow mo again. Doorknob opening.
Yeah.
A lot of skin on skin action.
Jimmy Doorknob.
And then there's a killer with this. You know those masks that are clear that have the makeup on them. You know,
but
it's half. But it's half of it. It's the top half of it.
It's got the only thing colored in it is like the eyebrows and like the lip and the top teeth.
I don't even know if it maybe just the top lip because it's just the top half.
Yeah, it looks like he's smiling though. If you see him at the end of the hallway.
Yeah. No.
It's kind of creepy. It's not as good as the tourist trap math.
The
tourist trap math. You know, the math they do
the
in
math
that.
And tourist trap.
It's brilliant. Yeah, the code breaking they do in there.
It cuts back to Joey or Joni, and she finds Joey, and Chuck's like, "Don't tell anybody." Well, he's fucking dead. Don't tell anyone. Okay.
It would have been better if he was like, his last wish before he died was to have an orgy, and you denied him that.
Yeah, so we're not going to tell anybody else. But he eventually does.
Let him pass away into that dark night so quietly.
He does eventually get John and Mary. And then it cuts back to Carol and Jimmy. And Carol does show one nipple. This is the only nipple of the movie. And she has her neck snapped by the killer. Jimmy is sledgehammered in the chest.
Straight to the heart.
And Joni walks in. She walks in, which I think, is a bit uncouth considering they were she would be thinking they were having sex, but whatever.
Or maybe the killer walked in and they were like, finally, this orgy.
Well, yeah.
It's starting. I just lost my virginity, bro!
So she runs away while the killer literally just walks in slow-mo.
Yeah.
Just walks. Joni's freaking out. John's investigating. Then all of a sudden there's this ghost kid with a mask, with the same mask, but it's a kid.
Everybody loves a ghost kid in an orgy.
And then big old sandwich man, John, finds Jimmy and
Big bag John. Big old sandwich man.
Sandwich man. He's the one that ate the whole sandwich. He was the one that
badass motherfucker.
Butt chugged the sandwich.
Butt chugging sandwiches. You ever butt chugged a hoagie?
I wish.
Gives a new meaning to the word grinder.
As if there aren't.
Dude,
anyway.
I took that hero right to the fucking ass. Yeah, bro.
So Sandwich Man, John, he finds Jimmy and Carol also. And then there's a sledgehammer in the corner, and John picks it up.
Of course.
And he comes back to Joni, Chuck, and Mary, and he's like, we need to kill him, and also shut up, Mary. He's screaming at his girlfriend to shut the fuck up. But okay. And then Chuck says, we have to stay here. Why? Why do you have to stay here?
Because we paid for it. We rented it out.
You are in the room with the only living people. You have seen the other 3 people, and they are dead. So why don't you get the fuck out? Even if there's no van, just walk away.
What if we split up in this 4-bedroom house?
Yeah. And then it just cuts to everyone's asleep except for John, because I think they have to wait till morning.
I'm pretty sure they didn't like the guy who disappeared. The guy who screamed for the orgy.
Well, yeah, I don't think. Well, he was part of the plan with Chuck, so. But they all fall asleep except for John.
He served his purpose.
And John's keeping watch. it goes from, then we cut to the stairs, then there's different rooms, then we cut to the door, then there's the bathroom and the hallway and the kitchen, and okay, we've seen all these rooms. They're empty.
Like I said, these people live in a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Or they're staying in a 4-bedroom
whatever
house.
they're doing. I don't need to see empty rooms that many times. But all of a sudden, this tall killer in the hallway appears with a sledgehammer and then disappears in front of John. And John realizes...
Those mushrooms are kicking in, John.
He realizes that he had picked up that sledgehammer, but now he realizes the sledgehammer is gone. So it's disappeared from his hand.
Yeah, it's a mystical sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Mjolnir.
So John grabs a knife from the kitchen, and then there's a flashback to Chuck's story. Why? I don't know. We got the story.
That's the director's brother, and he had something to say.
We got the story at the beginning. Then we had the scene
maybe that was the only time the director's brother Chuck landed his lines. They just wanted to show it again.
Yeah, they were like, "We're proud of you, Chuck."
They wanted to show the parents and the family and be like, "Look, Chuck actually acted for a second."
So this was 3 times now that we're hearing the story of why all this is happening. Basically, okay, cool. John's walking around, and then there's a flashback to Chuck. There's another flashback to Chuck's story. And him saying they never found the boy. And then the boy killer, the kid, the little boy with the same mask on, shows up behind John. John follows him into a room.
That's not questionable.
Yeah. And then he's locked in. But it shows us like he's like kind of transported into this room because it was locked.
By the little boy.
And then when
that's what all pedophiles say.
He starts trying to open the door, but there's a lock from the inside on it. But then that lock disappears, and then the doorknob is covered with cobwebs. Okay.
Spooky.
And obviously at this point...
Ew, I can't touch that. My name's Chuck.
No, it's John.
John?
It's Sandwich
my name
Man.
used to be Chuck.
It's Sandwich Man.
Sandwich Man.
Yeah, but of course all this is slow-mo.
What kind of sandwiches are we talking? Are we talking Reubens or are we talking clubs?
It looked like a bologna sandwich to me.
I'm thinking a hot Italian.
I don't think that's what he was eating. But we have a lot of slow-mo there. And then he turns around and sees the mom and the lover dead at the table in the room. And then a pentagram randomly behind it.
Satan.
And it's that fucking goddamn kid. Nope. Never mind. It's the huge guy.
Yeah. It's a big dude.
It was the kid, then it's the big guy. They struggle for the sledgehammer, and then John stabs the killer. And Chuck and Joni at this point have woken up, and they go to find John, but he's been stabbed in the back. So we didn't see that happen, but during the struggle after he stabbed the killer stabbed him. And now Mary's stuck in the room. I don't know how she got there. Now she's stuck in that room.
Mary finds herself in a lot of strange predicaments.
Yeah. Sandwich Man's mask dick. Yeah. So Chuck breaks down the door as the boy is stabbing Mary to death.
Yeah.
It's one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yes.
He very garbagely explains what he's doing because you can't really hear him. Basically, what he's saying is, I
want a Tonka truck and I want some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, he says, I had to kill my mommy and this man, they took me away from daddy. But you can't really tell what he's saying. So,
child labor is illegal, folks, and you should not support it.
Chuck goes to grab the mask off the boy, but through some kind of telekinesis or something, he can't get to the mask. His hands can't get to the mask. And then the boy...
That is the Lord stopping him from touching this child.
Satan, because that pentagram.
No. No, that's because Chuck isn't legally allowed to be within 45 feet of a child.
Right.
So that's how that works.
So when he's trying to get the mask off, that little kid bitch slaps him to the ground.
There has nary been a pimp slap so immaculate that I've ever seen. And it's slow motion, too.
Oh, it's so good. He slaps him to the ground.
And whatever synthesizer thing that they put onto this, I just went... It's perfect.
And then...
The kid should have just... The only thing that could have made this more perfect is if the kid just, rubbed his face and was like... Yeah, that feels nice, doesn't it? And Chuck goes, yeah. And he goes, now imagine it at 40 fucking miles to your fucking face.
Yeah. So Chuck and Joni are on the ground looking at this kid.
That just bitch smacked Chuck, the alpha male.
And then this kid grows into a full adult.
I'd say it's a little bit more than adult. This guy's like 7 to 8 feet fucking tall.
Yeah, he's really tall.
And it happens real slowly, and it concentrates on the back ass of this kid, which is kind of rough, and then it turns into a man, so it becomes not wrong, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, he grew up real fast, you know, like we shouldn't be watching this kid. He's not a kid anymore. Well, he was literally 15 seconds ago. Like, why are we watching the ass of this kid get bigger? Like, and why are they watching it too?
So Chuck closes Joni out of the room
because he wants some alone time with what just happened.
He wants to fight. Yeah, he wants to fight.
He's gonna get down to the dirty bottom of this, whether he likes it or not.
He tries to fight the boy/man killer, whatever, and
at this point it doesn't matter.
He's knocked out, and then Joni sees Joey's dead body again, but who cares? Joni attacks the killer and hits him over and over in slow-mo, but he's fine. As Joni runs, there's shots of rooms again. We have a slow-mo Johnny.
Doesn't the killer shake Chuck to death?
No, he doesn't die.
Well, he shakes him until he bleeds from his mouth, right?
I think he just knocks him out.
He's bleeding from the mouth, though, so he just shakes him.
Sure, shaking baby. Sure.
That works on Chuck.
Yeah. There's a slow-mo of... Okay, by the way, also just keep in mind, at this point, Chuck has his shirt on, okay?
Yeah, no, he's fully clothed.
He's fully clad. So we get a slow-mo of Joni putting a wire into a socket to, like, try to electrocute the killer.
She runs into a...
That doesn't work.
Well, she runs into a room and she wraps...
That's the second thing she does. Then she goes into a room. She wraps this...
It's like
towel sheet from... She ties it to the closet, then also to the blinds of the window.
I guess, well, it looks like she's about to make like a knotted rope to get out, but then whenever she puts it in the closet, it just goes down to the floor.
She just goes in. No, it doesn't. It attaches to the window, but
it doesn't. It's not going to get her out of a 2-story house.
No, there was no purpose for it. Because she's still, after she does that, she goes and hides behind the door, so when the killer comes in, she can attack him. So I don't know why she did that. And then she goes and ties another knot.
Well, no, then the killer comes in and we have a slow motion fight of her baseball batting this fucking dude, and then she tries to go and get out of the window while the dude's in pain, the killer. And then whenever he rises up, she runs at him, and I will give her this, it's a pretty good slow motion video thing, just fucking socks his ass in the nuts.
Yeah.
And then runs out the door. She should have ran out immediately.
And then she runs into another, I think the bathroom, and just ties another knot and then runs away.
No, she goes into the room because as a TV, I don't know what kind of, it's like she runs into these rooms, she starts tying knots, she's like, hey, this is a clove hitch, okay, hey, this is a sailor's knot. It's like a Boy Scout like tutorial or some shit.
Yeah.
But she runs into one room and she gets like a cord that you would have off like the back of a lamp, and I guess it's like somehow to the TV or something.
I think that's where the electrocution thing.
She wraps it around the door handle. Mind you, these things are insulated and they've got rubber, or not insulated, but they're like insulated by rubber. There's no conductivity and or conduciveness, or however the fuck you say it. And then so when the killer comes in, she like turns the light on, and before he can come in, it just shocks him. Isn't that what happens?
Kinda, but it's in slow mo, so you can't really tell. So she runs into the kitchen and tears that shit up.
Doesn't he come in and smash the TV because he wants his MTV?
Yeah, he comes in and smashes the TV. She runs out. She goes to the kitchen, tears it apart. That can't.
Well, she's trying to wash the dishes. She's got to get ready.
First, she does.
She's
look like she's trying to wash the dishes. It's fucking ridiculous.
Nobody likes your meatloaf.
Finally, she finds a hatchet, and she does.
It's a meat cleaver.
She hits him in the shoulder, but I mean, he just pulls it out. It didn't do shit. But she does he swings his sledgehammer at her, and he misses again. And she runs into another room, and when he's about to hit her again,
oh my God,
Chuck,
shirtless Chuck.
He is now shirtless. I don't know why he took his shirt off, but he has a great body, I guess. But whatever.
You like him?
He's not that
He's got
bad.
a great body. I mean, like, whatever. Like, so
he does
what?
have a good body, Chuck. Yeah.
Like, so no, I don't like him. I won't tell him, Emily. Don't worry.
And he comes in to fight the killer, and most of this fight is seen through the killer's point of view, so it's just through these shitty holes in this clear mask.
Somebody strapped the mask to the camera.
Yeah, you can't tell what's going on.
It has no finesse of Halloween.
But finally, Chuck does sledgehammer the killer in the head. And it's a pretty good gore scene, especially when the mask comes off and it shows his head, and it's like just a pulp.
It looks like that boy man kid is kind of hurt.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like how he's like a wereman, but whenever he gets killed, he doesn't turn back to a boy. It's like a little boy got bit by a grown man, and then in the full moon, he turns into a man. His hair kind of looks
like Joseph Zito. From me.
Who's Zito?
From Maniac.
Oh, yeah.
So, after this, Joni and Chuck hug, and they walk out of the house.
And they get one last scene of that house during the fucking day.
It pans up, and in the window of the house is the boy with the mask on.
And okay, but also every shot of this house is during the day, so this could have, even though they say it happened in like I guess a weekend or whatever, or maybe a few days. This all happened in an afternoon.
Yeah, basically.
And Chuck does not know how to throw a party.
These people. None of these people really know how to do anything.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it. Fucking low rent John Oates, vertically endowed John Oates, knew how to get laid at least.
True.
Even though he's a virgin.
So our kill count, we've got 1, the lover. He's hit in the head with a sledgehammer. His brains fly out. 2, the mother. She's hit 4 times with the sledgehammer, but it's off screen. 3, Joey, knife through the neck. 4 is Carol. His neck is snapped. Jimmy is bludgeoned with a sledgehammer.
Straight through the heart.
And John is stabbed in the back with a knife, and then Mary is repeatedly stabbed with a knife. Also, we could count the kid too, because it's clearly a ghost, so he was presumed dead. So that adds up to a kill count of 8. If you don't want to count the kid, 7. Whatever. As far as trivia, there's not a whole lot. The budget, as we found out from the director,
under
was
$10,000.
Under $10,000 because they pretty much used equipment from a company that made commercials, and they kind of just like let them use it. And it was shot in the writer-director David Pryor's apartment in 7 days. Clearly. What is also we've also already covered Blood Cult, but Blood Cult also says this is the first that movie is the first shot on video movie made for home video market. That was in 85, so they're just lying. Stacy, this girl that does, I think she does a blog. She wrote, "Bludgeons your psyche until all that remains is an unrecognizable pulpy mass." Okay, cool.
It's that intense.
Yeah. The cameras were borrowed from it says a training video company, but I guess training for commercials. The director said
it was a commercial company.
Yeah. And some article said slashers were I read some article that said that slashers were past their peak in 1983, and I was like, what are you talking about? That's not true, but okay. Ted Pryor, the director's brother who plays Chuck, was a bodybuilder and a Playgirl playmate.
Oh.
And he was also in Killer Workout and Deadly Prey. He was also in Surf Nazis Must Die.
Oh, 1987. One of my favorites. Trauma, yes.
Yeah, he was in a lot of action
Nazis
movies.
Must Die is an amazing film. We should definitely do that one.
Well, And then there were a lot of people that were part of the crew that didn't want to be known for having done this movie.
I wouldn't either,
so
man.
they had fake names such as David Fuxit, Harrison Balls, Jack Meow, and Mike Hunt.
You see, those people did those names just so they wouldn't ruin their actual ongoing careers in actual porno.
Yeah.
Just because nobody would believe that. Because
That's
they were actually
true.
porn cinematographers.
The woman that plays Carol was actually in a couple things, and it wasn't anything big, but she was the prettiest one, the woman that was fucking Jimmy. But she wasn't
the one
in
that
anything
showed
big.
one tit?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
The director,
John Oates Jimmy.
yeah, John Oates Jimmy. And then the director said that he said, well, I made the movie to learn how to make a movie instead of going to school to make movies. And then he said no, he had no recollection of the inspiration for this movie. But then he goes, "Oh wait, the ones with Jason." So I guess he goes, "It's been so long ago, I can't remember the name. You can't remember Friday the 13th, like." Okay.
I can get behind this, Greedo. Make it until fake it until you make it.
Yeah. That's about all we have for this one, because most of the movie is not anything going on. It's just slow-mo or empty rooms. I did also like it a lot, but not for any of the right reasons. I mean, it's a shitty movie.
This is I bitched about the last one that we did on Shitio. I don't know if it's sequenced out where it's going to come out or not before or
It
after.
probably will not, but
anyway,
Dream Maniac
when
is
we
what
did
you're talking
Dream
about,
Maniac
yeah.
or whatever, I loathed that
Fatal
movie.
Pulse was also shot on video.
That one was fine.
Yeah.
But this one I like. This is like this hits the niche where I really do like bad movies.
Like So Bad It's Good. It really
this
is.
One, yes.
Yeah.
This one was entertaining enough and just like, oh my god, I would like to watch it again.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's only it doesn't even hit an hour and 30 minutes. So even though a lot of the scenes do get tedious, I think if you rewatch it a whole lot, because just scenes of the rooms and shit,
it's a good once a year movie.
Yeah,
it's
or
really
like
good.
we're at a party, let's put this on in the background, so people can see how fucked up this is. What would you rate it out of 5?
Tell you the truth, I'd rate it 3.5.
Are you kidding me?
I liked it that much. I really did. The little boy growing into a man. When we're just looking at this little boy's ass and it grows into a grown man's ass, and there's two people in the hind ground or whatever, just looking at him going.
The bitch slap alone gets a point.
Oh my
gets a star
god!
for
Yes,
me.
a child bitch slapping a grown man, and it's in slow motion. It's just like.
Yeah, the very little gore in it. But there was very little gore, but the gore that was in it, I thought was pretty good, especially for what they were working with, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm also assuming, too, that the director saying, we made this in under 10 grand, a lot of that was borrowing equipment and marketing. And I think they probably didn't spend more than about 5 grand on, feeding the actors, and he said the set was it was
his apartment.
His apartment.
Yeah.
So maybe some of that 10 grand went to rent, even though it was in the 80s. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty impressed with what they did with such little amount of money.
I mean, I think the score is also pretty good for what it is.
Yeah.
It is So Bad It's Good. I can't believe Riff Tracks hasn't done it.
Well, I can also tell they tried to do a steady cam thing with video with actual steady shots, not moving shots.
They attempted it.
They storyboarded it out. They worked on it a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong.
There's some good
and
fun.
What's the director's name?
David Pryor.
David Pryor, if you're out there, we will interview you. Tell us about it.
We will be doing another movie that he's directed, to Killer Workout.
Yeah, so come talk to us, man.
He doesn't seem like he's shocked people watch this movie, but
I mean, I am too. But hey, we watched it.
I think it has good camaraderie, especially during the food fight scene. I mean, that's fun. It's So Bad It's Good. I would probably give it a 2, though. I mean, I'm
Nah, I give it 3.5.
I know, but I'm just saying, maybe 2.5. I might move it up to 2.5. It does, yeah.
I don't know. The little boy slapping a grown man and then growing into a giant through the special magic of video. I think it's pretty great.
It's not that bad of a transition either.
You're telling me.
Yeah. So,
I'm not going to say anymore.
Yeah, it's probably not. Yeah. So, stay gagged on a sledgehammer, obviously.
Stay gagged on people maturing very fastly.
Stay gagged.
Quickly, rapidly, bigly.
Stay gagged on that slap heard round the world.
Stay gag on any guy named Chuck who loves to take his shirt off at just the right moment.
And stay gagged on poor man John Oates. Or grown man John Oates.
Hey, that's John Oates Jimmy.
Jimmy. All right, guys. Follow us. Stay gagged on all of our social media, Instagram, TikTok, Gag Me With a Knife Podcast, and go to our website to buy our merch, gagmewithaknifepodcast.com, and we will see you next time. Sledgehammer.
Bye.
You say